Your dragons were born. Our magic was born again. It is strongest in their presence.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is Shade of the Evening and Hidden Warlocks Revealed. We will go through exactly what Shade of the Evening is and how it affects everything, and I will reveal to you a new theory of a warlock who's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. I will reveal to you exactly who that person is. And since we did hit that magic number of 400 likes, that means someone did win the Netflix gift card for $25, and I will reveal who that is at the end of the video. So if you want the opportunity to win yourself, all you have to do is subscribe, click that bell, leave a like on this video and a comment. And if this video hits 400 likes, then I will give away another $25 Netflix card to a random subscriber who did leave a comment on this video. That being said, let's get right into it. Shade of the Evening is a thick blue liquid consumed by the Warlocks of Karth. It is called the wine of the Warlocks. It is made from the inky blue leaves that grow on the black bark trees found around the house of the undying. Now, this substance, Shade of the Evening, made from this black bark tree, and we're going to come back to this black bark tree in a little bit, seems to be the same exact thing that the children of the forest use on Bran when they awaken his powers, and that is weirwood paste. And we can tell this by the similarities of the taste of both things. It had a bitter taste, though not so bitter as acorn paste. The first spoonful was the hardest to get down. He almost stretched it back up. The second tasted better. The third was almost sweet. The rest he spooned up eagerly. Why had he thought that it was bitter? It tasted of honey, of new fallen snow, of pepper and cinnamon. And the last kiss his mother ever gave him. The empty bowl slipped from his fingers and clattered on the cavern floor. I don't feel any different. What happens next? Leaf touched his hand. The trees will teach you. The trees remember. He raised a hand, and the other singers began to move about the cavern, extinguishing the torches. One by one, the darkness thickened and crept towards them. So when Bran ate this weirwood paste given to him by the children of the forest, a paste that's made out of weirwood seeds, they claim, though it could be pieces of Jojen, but let's just go by what they're saying in the book right now, of seeds of weirwood paste that also has some red streaks in it that could be blood, but let's just go by what we see in it. It's saying it's weirwood paste. This paste tasted bitter. It tasted nasty. And then all of a sudden, it started tasting better towards him. So let's take that knowledge that we have and compare it to the taste of Shade of the Evening. Euron grabbed a handful of the priest's tangled black hair and pulled his head back and lifted the wine cup to his lips. But what flowed into his mouth was not wine. It was thick and vicious, with a taste that seemed to change with every swallow. Now bitter, now sour, now sweet. When Euron tried to spit it out, his brother tightened his grip and forced more down his throat. So we can clearly see that these substances basically are the same. I mean, they're in two different forms. One is more of a liquid form and one is a paste form, but they both start out bitter and then they become sweet. And supposedly when you're drinking Shade of the Evening, it's described as having the taste of everything you've ever tasted in your life. And if we look at Bran Stark when he does eat weirwood paste, it would seem the stuff that the flavors that are coming into his mouth are everything he's tasted in his life. whether it's pepper or new fallen snow, which I'm sure he put his tongue out and tasted like all kids did, and his mother's last kiss. Shade of the Evening is a blue, thick substance, and it is used mostly by the Warlocks in Karth. They have used it so much that their lips have turned blue because of it. The Undying ones have drank so much of it that not only have their lips turned blue, but their entire bodies as well. We also see this with Euron Greyjoy. We see that his lips are blue as well. So we know the man has been ingesting it a whole lot. Now, the black bark tree that this stuff is made out of is not mentioned by name, but we can see that this tree is the exact opposite, it seems, as the weirwood trees that the children of the forest worship. The weirwood trees are white. This tree is black. The weirwood trees have red leaves. This tree has blue leaves. And although they are opposite, it is only in appearance, because they do the exact same thing. Whether you're drinking Shade of the Evening or you're eating weirwood paste, it supposedly opens up your mind and makes you more susceptible to persuasion that is in forms of visions that are given. One flute will only serve to unstop your ears and dissolve the call from your eyes, so that you may hear and see the truth that will be laid before you. Now, it's a good chance that the black bark tree is the ebony tree that we know and we hear about in the show. It seems that every time we hear of ebony wood being used, it is in connection with weirwood. In the house of Tobo Mott in King's Landing, it has double doors that are decorated with a hunting scene in ebony and weirwood. The doors of the house in Black and White in Bravos are made of ebony and weirwood. The statue of the Lion of Night is located within the temple on an ebony throne. The faceless men gather beneath the temple in a chamber housing tall chairs that are made of ebony and weirwood. So it seems that ebony and weirwood are always being used together. They are connected, just like the weirwood trees and this black bark tree. So as I said, I think there's a good chance that the black bark tree is an ebony tree. And the ebony tree is from the Summer Islanders, and it was very popular in the Valyrian Freehold. And Valyria just happens to be the same place that they use to make glass candles, and glass candles give you the ability to go inside other people's dreams, just like the children of the forest can do without having a glass candle. And the glass candle seems to work better when somebody is on Shade of the Evening. This is why we see Euron attempt to give it to both of his brothers. Now, there are a few hidden warlocks in this series, hiding as other people in plain sight, and I'm going to reveal one of them to you right now in this video. But in order to understand exactly how they do it, we must understand their powers. Now, after drinking Shade of the Evening, Daenerys does go inside the House of the Undying, looking for the Undying. Now, we must understand who the Undying are. They are the master wizards of the Warlocks, right? They are the best of them. And when she finds them, she finds a splendor of young wizards in their prime. They are young, they are strong, and they are beautiful. And they offer her knowledge of magical weapons. It isn't until Drogon points her to another door. She runs and finds a gloomy chamber with a stone table with a blue and rotting human heart floating above it. It is in the darkness Daenerys perceives the true Undying ones, ancient and old decrepit men, and women with ripe blue flesh, lips and eyes, unmoving and unbreathing, but still whispering to her. So when you hear this, I am sure you are thinking the exact same thing that I am thinking, that this sounds an awful lot like Melisandre, Old women masquerading as young people. That's their thing, and that is Glamouring. So the House of the Undying, the Warlocks, and the Undying themselves, they have the ability to glamour themselves. And we can see that 2 times in the show. I just recently caught one. I'm going to show it to you right now. When Daenerys is introduced to this warlock, he shows her a trick, and the trick is basically him showing himself in 2 different places. But that truly is a distraction. If you look closely right at this scene, you can see when these warlocks walk off and they come back that these 2 ladies standing next to Daenerys look pretty similar. In fact, I think it's the same lady right here. So that supposedly could be Warlocks or the Undying out there in the show. Next, when we first meet the Warlocks, they try to attack Daenerys. And how do they do that? They try to get her stung by this bug and try to kill her that way. And then we see that this warlock is in the form of a little girl. And this little girl has Arya Stark-like jumping ability. But also you see the ability that we've seen from Pre to show up in different spots right here. The first time they show this girl when she approaches Daenerys, she does not have the blue lips whatsoever. But then after she gets exposed to doing what she's doing, then we can see the blue lips on her. So we know that these warlocks or the Undying have the ability to glamour themselves and change their appearances to little girls, most likely little boys too, because I'm sure they could do both. But we've seen little girls specifically. They have the ability to do this and to hide the blueness of their mouth. And most likely if they can hide the blueness of the mouth, they can hide the blueness on their bodies also. So who are one of these warlocks, if you want to call them that, or Undying, that is hiding in plain sight? It is none other than the Dusky Woman. The Dusky Woman is a warlock. We know Euron tells Victorion that he has captured 4 warlocks in the Gallus out in Korth. And when he did, on board there was a cask of Shade of the Evening, along with some cloves of nutmeg and 40 bolts of green silk. The warlock told him a curious tale, which Euron does not elaborate on at this particular time. Euron says he killed a warlock who threatened him and fed him to the other 3. The surviving warlocks reportedly coached Euron in dealing with black magic. When you look up the meaning of Dusky in the dictionary, it does say that one of the meanings is shadowy. And we know that the Dusky Woman is wearing silk, though it does not say the color of the silk. We know that Euron tried to get his brother to take the Shade of the Evening. He did take a little bit of it, but then after that he spit it out. The Dusky Woman is described as a beautiful woman who is missing her tongue because Euron cut it out. Now Victorion says that he knows that everything that Euron gives is poison, yet he still takes her, sleeps with her, and keeps her close, and enjoys talking to her because she cannot talk back. He gives her his innermost secrets. And in the Winds of Winter chapter, when Mokoro says he wants to bleed him, he grabs the Dusky Woman by her wrist and says no, she will do it. So this is a spy for Euron. This is a warlock glamored to look like a black woman, and that is why she is on board there to do Euron's bidding, to spy on his brother and make sure that it gets done right, what he needs to be done with that dragon horn. I can go into more detail, but I will do that in another video when I just focus on strictly Victorion Greyjoy. And the winner of the $25 gift card for my last video hitting 400 likes is Maya Owens. Please contact me on Teflon TV on Facebook. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. And you could be a winner too. All you have to do is subscribe, leave a comment. And if this video hits 400 likes, we will give away another $25 gift card next week on the next video. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.